Void fissures. Use them to open a relic, but are you confident you can withstand their fury?
Let's go on the offensive.
You're near a fissure. Use that reactant to open a relic. Don't forget the reactant. You need more to open that relic.
That was a close one.
That's it. You opened the relic. Finish your mission and we'll take a look inside.
Alright. What you watching? Okay. Yeah, that could be any anime. That's good to hear. We'll see if Drifter. We'll see if Peace joins us. Alright. Sounds like a good plan. Yeah, you got another week, so.
This is how angry. I may require maintenance after all.
That's good to hear. Mm-hmm. All right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's all it should be. Mm-hmm.
They're
Yeah.
dropping reactant to craft relic. The reactant is working on your relic. More.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a grind game. But it's always been like that, so. They just streamlined it over the years. Japanese game, so. Yeah. It's a super grindy game, I mean, so it is Monster Hunter, so I'm just guessing a lot of people weren't used to the franchise since it's the first one released over here. Yeah, they were all like Japanese games. You have to import them or wait for them to get translated. This one was like the first one that they built for America. Or I should say built for ps4 or something. Warframe. I'm just waiting to see if PC get on. Yeah, I'll see how long these guys go. So if you want to start one, and just keep going until Peace gets here, then we can just leave whenever he joins. Yeah. So if you just want to go and start one, because it's a lean, so it's not that high level anyway. So. Yeah, it's dropping some.
That's it. You opened the relic. Finish your mission and we'll take a look inside.
Yeah, just start one up, Drifter. And we'll see how long you can go until he gets here. Then we both can back up.
Reinforcements available. Do you choose to leave now or continue fighting?
You might get a better group than I got, so. Yeah, I'm already at one. You're running early today. It's a spy and a rescue. Yeah, it's not that hard. You can. The only problem you'll have is the interception one, because it's on that giant map. That super giant size map that nobody's like doing interception on.
Keep fighting. Another
The one as big as a football field.
will appear soon.
It's the one that's that looks like a water treatment place. Yeah, it's a ginormous map. It's like Outer or something.
Don't forget the reactant. You need to open that relic.
Yeah, you'll remember once you get into it. It's huge. It's unnecessarily big. Yeah, but that map is just big enough that you may not be able to reach the whole map. Yeah.
Move and strike. We have to win this.
Yeah. Yeah, you just might be able to reach everything in that map, but that map is pretty big, so yeah, I don't really like that map, but they always do it for interceptions, so, or I should say interceptions on sorties. Yeah, I pretty much do solo side mission solo now. Yeah. Yeah, but it becomes a waste of time when you got people that don't know how to do a spy mission. And it takes all day just to get it done, so.
The relic has been cracked open. Finish it to find out what's inside.
Yeah, that's rare. Especially with randoms, that's really rare.
Extraction is ready, unless you can handle more of the enemy.
Yeah, VAR is really great for spy missions. Yep. Yeah, you pretty much walk through everything. Just walk right to the door, walk in, and just walk out.
will be rewarded for your bravery. You are going to need more reactant if you want to open that relic.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. A ginormous map. The unnecessarily big map. Just huge for no reason.
The relic has been cracked open. Finish your mission to find out what's inside.
unnecessarily big. Yep.
Extraction is ready. Unless you can handle more of me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Continue to defend. You will be rewarded for your bravery.
Yeah, that's good. Yep. Yep. Makes sense.
Keep fighting. Look for more reactant.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. You finish your mission and we'll take a look inside.
Nope. I mean, you're alright, long as you don't go racist. Yeah, I'm not into the whole racist and backwoods sexist comments. Like, it gets to a point where, like, I get it. Like, you got beat by a girl in a video game, so she should be in the kitchen, ha ha. But it's like, at some point, you need to just calm down. It's not that serious. But some people just go on a tangent, and it's like, y'all just need to relax. Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't know any better. But there's a lot of ignorant people who don't know any better, so it's not a white or black thing, it's just an ignorance thing. Because I've had black people tell me that they should have the right to use it. I'm like, you missed the point of the N-word. One day you'll understand, but like, yeah, I'm not gonna, if you just want to like co-opt the term that was based in slavery, like, you've missed the whole point of the problem. So that's why I'm just like, yeah, you do you. You live your life, and one day you'll get past that point. So I've just got past the point of arguing people about the N-word. It's like, if you just like hung up on that crutch where you feel like you have to use the N-word just to express yourself, it shows where you're at in life. I just think as persons, you shouldn't have to use a crutch unless your leg is broke. Then you're justified in using a crutch. But people should be smart enough to be able to express themselves with just hanging on these crutches. Because he probably saw somebody famous doing it, and he was like, they're cool, so...
Keep fighting. Look for more reactant.
Yeah, it just shows ignorance. Yeah, it's a crutch. It's a vocal crutch that people use. Just like a lot of people go and because instead of actually sitting there and thinking about what they're gonna say, they say instead of just calming down and just be like processing your thought and just saying, they feel like they have to keep talking, so that's why they use those crutches. Like, when really you can just pace yourself. I mean, I do it too. Everybody does it. You just, how far do you want to take those crutches? And I just think the N-word is unnecessary. Just like you never hear me call a white person a honky. So there's really no point in it.
permission to find out what's inside.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. Yeah, a lot of people don't get it. Yep. Yep. Yeah, maybe one day he'll get past that phase in his life.
For the tenor.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of sad. Yeah.
Extraction is ready, unless you can handle more of the enemy.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Another opportunity to extract will appear soon.
Mm-hmm. All right.
The reactant is on your relic. Find more.
Yep. We're still going. They're still going. I'm surprised because most people leave at the wave 5. So if you want to start a 1-up, go ahead because I'm still here. So. Loki. I'm just disarming the whole map. Yeah, it's Hydron, so you can pretty much disarm a Hydron. I mean, nobody's died yet, so I'm thinking that's why people stayed so far. I mean, people underestimate or forget how good Loki is. It's like if they don't got their guns, they can't shoot you. So there's that. Yeah, it's really good. He's good everywhere. Yeah, he has. I mean, he has probably one of the best. He has invisibility, which is a top tier ability. He has radio disarm, which is a top tier ability, even without the augment. Then you add the augment, it's even better. I mean, he has two of the best abilities in the game, so it's like he's great everywhere. I mean, in a game where you shoot stuff or be shot at, the enemy can't shoot you. That's a pretty big deal. Like, but what I tell people is like, it's not a sexy thing. Like, it's not like millions and millions of damage that Nidus does or stuff like that. It's just, hey, you want the enemies not to shoot you? You want to survive? Use Loki. Yeah, you'll survive pretty long. Yeah, we pretty much went to wave 30 and nobody's went down because they don't have their guns to shoot you, so.
What's going on, pillars?
Nothing much. Just running some Helene, waiting for you to get here because it's a defense mission, though.
Helene.
So if y'all want to run some relics, I'll join you after this run.
Works for me. I need to see if I have enough reactant to radiant my relics that I have. So I'll radiant go if I have enough. I don't have very many left, but yeah, why not use them?
That's it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stay in as long as I can because these randoms are going to 30. So, and that's very rare for Helene and Hydron. So they usually leave after wave 5. So I'm gonna see how far these guys go. So I might be able to get up to like 50. So yeah.
You never know. Although with randoms I kind of doubt it, but you never know.
Yeah. Yeah, like I was telling Drifter, like I basically disarming the whole map so nobody's died this whole time because they don't have their guns. So it's like, yeah, it's pretty much easy.
Oh, I went ahead and bought that horror story gun from what's her name, the shipwright Holiday.
Amanda Holiday, yeah.
Yeah, because its light level was higher than what I already had, and plus I don't have like a ton of Masterworks anyway, you know. So it's like it gives me another Masterwork, and then once I exceed that light level, I can turn around and break it for cores, and so yeah. Will I continue to grind it now? Huh? I don't know. It won't be a Masterwork, I don't think.
No. See the thing is, Bungie does half steps, like I've been trying to say to y'all. So you'll have the weapon, but because it's a year 2 weapon, you can't get out of your collections. Bungie didn't think far enough in advance to realize people want to use all the weapons in their collection. So you can go to your collection and look at it, but once you delete it from your actual vault, you'll never have that weapon again because it's a year 2 weapon, because Bungie didn't think about year 2 weapons.
Oh, so you can't actually reacquire it. Ah.
No, you could just...
you know, here's the thing. We've talked about this before, and you know, I know EA has a well-earned reputation for being just very, very crappy business tactics and treating its customer base like crap, right? And there's no argument there. But I think what flies under the radar quite a bit is Bungie's tactic. Because remember back in D1, it was commonplace for them to lock content that we previously had access to until you bought DLC. But nobody threw a fit back then, right? Nobody raised any hell. And I kept wondering, why does nobody care about this? Like, we had content that we had access to, and now they just suddenly locked it on us, and nobody cares. Like, nobody bats an eye. Like, nobody... I'm like, that's crappy as hell. That's like buying something from a... I already, you know, and then here's the other thing. Which I already talked about. Sparrows become a money sink, right? Like, oh no, you're not actually going to get a Sparrow. You know, we're going to make you run everywhere and see everybody else on their Sparrows to urge you to spend money to get a Sparrow, versus D1 where you actually had a mission and you know, got some dusty, crusty starter Sparrow that you could actually finish the campaign. Same goes for the Ghosts. They've become a money sink, where you know, you don't get an actual decent Ghost, and you see everybody else a decent Ghost, and it's like, oh, you want a decent Ghost? Well, you got to pay for it, you know. And then the whole, we talked about the Masterwork Core. That thing just ticks me off that Masterwork Core. First of all, the Ingrams have taken a total shift. So in D1, you would rarely see exotic Ingrams, but you would still see them on occasion, right? And legendaries would drop, you know, fairly often, you know, not non-stop, but yeah, fairly often. Now, in D2, exotic Ingrams have become non-existent. Legendaries have taken the place of exotics versus D1. Like, you rarely see them. You will see them occasionally, but very rarely, about as much as you do exotics. And then once you hit light level 335, it's like hitting a brick wall. Like, prior to that, you were going, and I think Drifter even made it a comment that once you hit light level 335, it's a grind. And it is. It's like hitting a brick freaking wall. As soon as you hit light level 335, because prior to that, you were jumping up in, you know, 2, 3, 4 level of light. Once you hit 335, it's like the brakes. Right. And you get nothing but non-stop Ingrams that are just dismantle, because it's not better than the gear you already have, right?
Right. So what they expect you to do is watch YouTube videos. Well, and the problem is Masterwork cores. Like, if I can't get, like, even a single light level, can't gain a single light level with basic grinding, like basic missions or leveling up factions. I can't even gain, because the highest light level they drop is 340. That's it. So I can't gain light levels by leveling up factions. So that does me no good. The drops are typically always going to be in that 340-ish range. So that does me no good at all. So then what's my only option? My only option is to infuse.
Well, I need cores to infuse. So where do I get cores?
Actually,
Oh,
your
you need
only option
Masterworks.
isn't infusing. So let me explain.
What's
So, well, that's another option. But the point,
yeah, but what's
what I
the
was
light
trying to
level
mention,
on the raid?
what I was trying to mention earlier is that they want you to watch YouTube videos
Continue
because
to
they
defend.
want the community to share information instead of actually telling you in game. So the key point I'm trying to bring out is they don't want you to infuse at all. You're not supposed to infuse ever in D2.
Really?
Yeah, you're supposed to discard everything you get and go through your collections. But you wouldn't find that out if you hadn't watched the YouTube video, which is my point. So the way the collections work is,
But
if
they're
you-
lower light level in the collection.
okay, so it could be. So the way the collections work is all the piece of armor that you found in the game are in your collection.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's missing pieces in your armor, say your leg piece or shoulder piece, they want you to go to the collection, pull it out to your collection, and put that on and level up that way.
Yeah, but when I was going through my collection earlier, every single piece of armor and every single weapon was lower by a lot. Like, we're talking 320s. We're talking 20 to 30 points below light level of what I already currently have equipped. So why would I take the hit of 20 to 30 light levels to run gear from my collection? I don't understand that.
Transference still holding.
Mm-hmm. I would think, yeah.
Right. So
Well,
the reason they want you to go into your collection is because they don't want you to keep any of the year one stuff, and they want you to replace the year one stuff with the new quote unquote mod system and only put on quote unquote better pieces that have mods on it. So that's why they want you to dismantle stuff and use the collection.
It just doesn't make sense on Bungie's part, though. I mean, because, like, okay, for example, like I went ahead and when I first started playing D2, I actually got a Battle Scar pulse rifle, and it was already a masterwork, right? But I guess you were saying the other day that only year ones can be re-rolled for perks,
Yeah.
or something like that. Well, the Battle Scar is a year one, so I've got the re-roll option on it, and it's a masterwork, so I went ahead and kept it and then kept infusing it up. Because it's like, well, I can re-roll it if I don't like the perks, and it's already a masterwork, so it doesn't cost me anything. So why shouldn't I keep that? Because if the perks aren't exactly perfect for what I'm looking for, I can always re-roll it. So to me, that makes sense to keep it, right? Instead of breaking it for cores and or trying to get it from my collection.
Right. But see, what
Yeah, well,
Bungie
yeah,
wants is
right.
they want you to, instead of putting that core or keeping that weapon that you had from day one, they want you to get that weapon out of the collection at a higher level to waste materials.
But see, my problem is that it's a lower light level. So
Right.
it doesn't make any sense for me to do that. Because, like, currently my Battle Scar is at 355 light level. If I get that same weapon from my collections, then one, it's not a masterwork. And two, it's only at 320 something. So on Bungie's part, it makes absolutely no sense for me to do that. Right?
Right.
Or am
Yeah,
I
'cause
thinking, am I missing the point?
Yeah.
Do I not understand correctly, or am I understanding correctly? I don't know.
No, what I'm saying to you is they want you. Okay, I'll say it this way: instead of taking 2 steps to get to point B, they want you to take 1.5 steps. Does that make sense to you?
How am I taking 2 steps though? You mean to like? Do you mean to like a certain light level? Is that what you're referring to?
So
Take
if you
two
would
steps.
like when you're walking down the street, if you would normally take a step here or take 2 steps there, instead of taking 2 steps, Bungie wants you to take a step and a half to get to the same location.
But how is it taking? I'm trying to understand Bungie's philosophy here because I'm missing. I'm clearly either they're intentionally did something that's backwards, and because that's what it feels like to me. Is it feels like it's backwards.
Right, it is backwards. Because once again, the streamers and the YouTubers who are bigger than me, since I'm streaming hello or whoever's watching, they said that the game was too easy and there was no challenge in the game, and that Bungie gave them too much stuff in year 1. So that's why they made the grind longer, because people kept saying it was too easy.
Right.
And that's why I said to you that the Masterwork system that we currently got is actually worse than it was in year 1.
It seems like it. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Okay, but am I...
So yeah.
Yeah, but am I crazy in thinking why wouldn't Bungie just add more hardcore material, more hardcore content, versus changing the system so that if you're a new player coming in, you're hosed from the get-go, like myself, because
they thought people wouldn't pay attention to it and they could get away with
that's
it.
Bungie.
Because
that's Bungie.
here's the way I know it's true, and this is not me just giving you a conspiracy theory. Go look at your battle scar from year 1 and notice that it has a masterwork core of 10.
Yes.
So what that means is, in year 1, all you had to do was put a masterwork core in there, and they gave you a rank 10 masterwork. In the current form, if you had that same weapon, you have to rank that weapon all the way up to 10,
right,
with masterwork cores and materials. Which means the grind is actually longer to get to the same exact point that you were already at.
See, that's dirty. That's dirty.
But a lot of people didn't pay attention to that, and they didn't notice it. But Bungie slipped that in. People were just like, "Oh, this Masterwork system is cool now because we have random roles." It's like it actually isn't cooler.
Yeah, yeah. That's kind of Bungie for you. They've always kind of done that under the table, like, you don't see this, you know. We're going to sneak around under the table and slap you, and then we're going to slowly sink back under the table, and you're never going to notice the thing invisible.
Right.
You know, that's kind of Bungie for you right there. They always kind of do that shady stuff. So I'm really not surprised.
The other thing they did was, in year 1, you could turn in weapon materials, 10 of them, and get a package from Banshee. It now costs you 100 materials.
Yes.
To turn in the same package. Whereas if you go to Zavala or Shaxx, it's still 10. Yeah, go to the tower and notice that difference. Go to Zavala, turn something in with tokens, then go to Banshee. You see that the currency value is totally whack. But nobody's called Bungie on that.
Yeah, well, speaking of that, I have to actually commend Bungie on this one thing. I remember, you know, the moments of triumph back in D1. Moments of triumph were always accomplishments the player would achieve in game, right? Like there was actual meaning behind it, right? It was actually the player accomplishing something in game that was considered a moment of triumph, right? Well, I thought, you know, I had all of the Destiny 1 moments of triumph, so I bet I have all of them for Destiny 2. And to show you how monetized Destiny 2 has become, the other day I was actually looking in the moments of triumph, and it said I only had 17 of 18 moments of triumph. And I'm like, how do I only have 17 of 18? I've had all the moments of triumph in D1, so why don't I have them all? So I'm thinking, oh, maybe there's a new one for D2. Do you want to guess what the moment of triumph was for D2?
Buy something.
Buy a limited edition Destiny 2. I'm like,
Yeah.
That's a moment of triumph? Really? Really? That's a moment of triumph. You spent money. Congratulations. That's such a triumphant moment.
Right. And see, that's the thing. Like you said earlier when we were talking to Fructor, you were like, man, Romo, you're so negative about this. I'm like, I'm not. I'm realistic. Like, I see what Buzzie's doing. Whereas Fructor, he's just happy that the game is better than what it used to be.
Right.
And he's just happy with what he's got. And I'm like, nah, bruh, it's not good. Like, it's a half
It can always be better.
Yeah, it's a half
But I'm glad you were telling me about this before I ever got Destiny 2, because had you not, for example, and I went into it with the mentality of, oh, this is D1, because Proctor told me it was like D1, and I went into it, I would be super, super salty and be like, what
Yeah, I
is
specifically
this?
said this was Destiny 2 or Destiny 1.5. Like, it's a half step.
Yeah.
They literally took a half step instead of bringing everything back. The other thing I kept saying was, like, remember in D1, you could go up to shacks and you could have weapon bounties to get a particular weapon, like a hand cannon. Like, if you got killed in Crucible hand cannon, you could have got a bounty to get another hand cannon. There's none of that.
No, in the faction system, what happened to that from D1? Listen, the Glimmer Cap is a joke. I got why there was a Glimmer Cap in D1. There was a Glimmer Cap because what did we do in D1? Well, when you hit that Glimmer Cap, you immediately ran to your faction and you bought the supposed best weapon that they had, or you ran to the Vanguard faction and bought materials, right? So you could reduce the amount of Glimmer that you had so that you could keep earning it. I don't see any way in D2 to do that. And I have been at that cap on D2 only, plus or minus a few hundred Glimmer here and there for bounties or whatever. But I don't see any location I could go to spend or, that Glimmer to buy a faction weapon or to buy faction materials. Why is it that I cannot buy materials from Asher on Io, for example? Like, oh, you want to buy, you want to buy some of these seeds? Well, use your Glimmer. I mean, like, why is there no way we can do that?
Because they want you to grind for every little thing. That's the honest truth.
Zavala. Oh, can you do that in Forsaken now? Okay, yeah.
But here's the come up that Bungie did, Drifter, that you may not have realized. Like, there's even a come up on that too. Like, there's not Bungie's not giving you anything anyway. It costs legendary shards and Glimmer, and it doubles each time.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yep, and it doubles.
How much? How high does it go? Does it have a cap?
Nope.
Or does it continually increase?
It goes from 10 to 20 to 40 to 80 to 160.
Oh, no.
Yes, it keeps going up because Bungie specifically did that so you wouldn't do it. Bungie isn't dumb. Like, Activision has taught them well. Like, them boys are savages.
I know there's Bungie is, man. I can hear that player right now, that new player, like, I need 10 Masterwork cores. Please, Bungie, give me 10 Masterwork. Oh God! Oh God!
Yep.
Wow.
The vault has been cracked. Finish your mission to find out what's inside.
I
Yep.
don't blame you.
And that's what Bungie wants.
choking on my own saliva.
Bungie wants white whales like Drifter, who's like fiending for master workhorse, because it's basically the video game equivalent of crack. They're basically drug dealers, and they're like, hey, if you keep give us a little bit more, we'll give you those master workhorse that you need. Just a little bit hit right there, and it's like,
Yeah, the first hit's free. Yeah,
then
well,
you're like, I need
get
another
the
one, so then I
long-term.
buy 20. Then you're like, I need another one, and you buy 40, and it just, that's how they get you. That's that gambling that they put in there.
Yeah, I get that the original D2 players that have stuck with it this long, I get that they are sitting on fat stacks of cores, right? Because they were getting the same masterworks over and over and over again. So, once they got a better light, it was just dismantle, dismantle, dismantle. So the players that have stuck with it up to this point are sitting on fat stacks of cores, masterwork cores, and I get that. But this seems so penalizing to newer players. Like, it seems backwards. A lot of what Bungie does seems backwards, because it seems like they would want to attract newer players. And this is definitely something that is going to turn them off and drive them away, because it's definitely something for me. Like, for example, I get a helmet, for example, for my Titan. Well, I can't use, my higher level light level Titan helmets to infuse my Hunter helmets or my Warlock helmets. Like, I have to have the specific Hunter helmet or the specific Warlock helmet to infuse up those helmets, which again was something that we complained about in D1, if you remember, and they changed it so that if you had a helmet in general, it worked for all helmets. If you had gloves in general, it worked for all gloves to infuse. Now,
But see, once again, Bungie's slick, because once again, the community brought this evil upon themselves because they're dumb. They don't know how to communicate what they actually want. So
and they can't take any constructive criticism. That's the biggest problem with fanboy. And I always try to tell this to people. Do you know the negative connotation applied to the term fanboy or fangirl? Being a fanboy or fangirl of something, literally the meaning of it is that you're too stupid or you're too ignorant to see the flaws in something.
Right.
So it always cracks me up when I run into a Destiny fanboy or fangirl that says, I'm a fanboy of Destiny. And I'm like, so you're too stupid to see the flaws in it. What are you talking about? Hey, look, I'm just telling you the actual definition of the phrase. You're claiming it. I'm just, obviously you're not aware of it. But they can't. They cannot see the flaws in it. They look at it and like, it's perfect. Perfect.
Right.
And
so what they kept saying was, and once again, I'm a person who watches streamers, and I watch a lot of YouTube content to keep myself informed. So what the streamers kept saying was, in year one, the content is too easy. They're giving us too many exotics, which one is a dumb thing to ever say to a developer. And two, the grind is too easy, which is the second dumb thing they said. What they should have said was, we want meaningful grind. We want to grind for something that has a purpose to show why we did it. We want to grind raids for a Galahorn, not for a blue rocket launcher that's okay.
Yeah, no. And you can actually see the impact of stuff like that even in Warframe. Because when you look at the grind for Oxium for Boban, right? Yeah. That's horrendous. Or look at the cryotic grind for the Sibir in Warframe, right? Yeah. This was a direct response of this. The grind is too easy. But saying that you get too many exotics, that's like going to your employer and saying, well, you're paying me too much money.
It looks like in the real world, you would never say that.
I want to do this for free.
Right. It's just like, you got to be able to express your opinions in a more clear way instead of just it's too easy. the grind was too easy in year one. It's like, no, for you may have got the exotic to day one. For somebody else, they may still be looking for their Crux or Crota because their RNG is terrible.
Yeah. Listen, I've got 3 characters in D2, right? My Titan, my Hunter, and my Warlock. I've gotten all 3 characters up to level 30, and all 3 characters up to like level 350, and I've had to grind it out the hard way to get that, right? Like, I didn't get any like instant jump to level 30 or any of that other BS. I had to grind it out the hard way. I've done every mission, every quest, you know, all the orange markers, all the blue map markers, you name it. Would you like to take a guess? In all of that grindage, I even popped a fire team medallion because I heard a rumor that if you run Festival of the Haunted Forest with a fire team medallion equipped, that you get crazy mad exotic drops. And I ran it enough to get 130 of those fragmented souls. So that'll give you an idea how much I ran the Haunted Forest. Would you care to take a guess to this day? How many exotic Ingrams I've had drop?
Dude, I got my first exotic Ingram of this DLC this week. Yeah,
I'll tell you exactly how many exotic Ingrams I have. All right, get your fingers
first.
ready. In all of that grinding, I have gotten 0. I have never had a single exotic Ingram drop, not a single solitary time in all of my grinding in D2, not once. So I think if nothing else, that should really kind of indicate that there's a problem with the exotic drops. There's a difference between if something's dropping too much versus not at all.
Yeah.
There's a difference, you know, and they went from one extreme to another.
And Bungie's excuse was, because they're master trolls, is we want you to have that Gallowhorn feeling when you get an exotic. That was their
you have to get
excuse.
an exotic first.
Right. That was their excuse, because they're master trolls. Because people are dumb. And my response was like, well, when you make the Gallowhorn in D2, holla at your boy. And I'll care then. But there is no Gallowhorn, so you can't justify people in the community. Like, this is not just me, because my RNG is terrible, we all know that. But there's people like Pope Bear on Destiny Community Podcast who have like 1 or 2, when historically in D1 he was called Pope Bear because he had the best RNG and he would get exotics like left and right. But even people like him, they're not getting exotics. And then like the community come out and says it's like 3% chance to get like an exotic. Yeah. Out of all the other things you might get in the game. And it's like, nah, Bungie, like.
Yeah, I mean, it's circular logic. It really is. It's like saying, no, we want you to have that feeling, you know, when you get a unicorn that farts rainbows and sneezes Skittles. Well, you know, there's no such thing. I'm never going to see it. So how am I going to get that excited feeling? You know, there's no, I mean, to my knowledge, I have no reason to believe that even exotic Ingrams even exist at this point in D2, because I literally have never seen one drop. So I literally am under the belief at this point that there is no such thing as an exotic Ingram in D2, because I've never seen it drop. So it's very much a case of, you know, a tree making a noise and it falls in the woods and no one's around to hear it. Well, I've never seen one drop. I've never seen one drop on anybody that I've been match made with. So I have to conclude that there's no such thing as exotic Ingrams anymore, because I've never seen one, right? So I have no other data to go off of besides what I've actually seen, and I've never seen one. So
yeah, and that's just Bungie, like, people not being clear in their message. They're just like, it was too easy in year 1. People got exotics too much. You need to make the grind harder. And it's like, I get people like Glad, whose job is, hey, we carry people through raids and we play Destiny 8 hours a day and we know how to do world first, and we're usually world first every raid. For people like that, like, I can understand it's easy for them, but for us mere mortals who can't grind with party of 6,
I got bills to pay.
Yeah, you know? It's like for us regular people who can't have 6 people at our call and be like, yo, you want to run away, and 6 people just jump in. This doesn't make sense for the normal people. But people like Glad and them,
But see,
It's like, no, man.
this goes back.
You can't hype it for those people.
This goes back to my
You're near
D1
official.
comment about drop rates. Like, it's okay to make something a little bit more difficult to get. I get the reasoning behind that. But there's a difference between making something difficult to get and something that's impossible to get. Which case in point goes back to my crux of Crota, right? For 3 years in D1, I ran Crota
Keep fighting.
every week
Look for more
with
reactants.
3 times with all 3 of my characters, with the stupid shader and the stupid emblem, every single week for what, 2 to 3 years. Never once did I ever get a crux. Never once. Meanwhile, my fire teams around me are like, stupid crux. I've got like 6 of those. Delete, delete, delete. And I'm like, oh, I hate you. I hate you. Oh, I'm glad I don't know where you live right now. You know?
Yep.
So there's a difference between making something difficult to get and then just absolutely impossible and never drop. And that's what's going on with exotics right now. They never drop. And legendary engrams have now taken the place of exotics because now legendaries don't drop that often. And so you occasionally see them as much as you used to with exotics in D1. So, yeah, I don't know, man. The whole thing. Oh, on the bright side, though, collections. Interestingly enough, this is another one of those topics that D2 doesn't ever explain to you or tell you. And that is, I was digging around in my collections, right? You remember how I commented the other day about how it was so stupid that, for example, if you complete all the missions on Titan for Sloan, then Sloan would be like, give you this generic middle finger thank you placard. Thanks for doing all the missions and get jack crap. Here's a little bit more jack crap. And I was like, that would have been the perfect time to give the player like a generic ghost that's specific to Titan, right? Get this. I'm digging around my collections today in D2. And in my collections for ghost shells is a ghost for Nessus, and a ghost for Titan, and a ghost for IO. All the ghosts I'd never had, never been given, were available for me to reacquire Glimmer only. Why aren't the NPCs just giving those to the player? I mean, why did I have to wait this long to realize, oh, well, the ghosts are in the collection, right? Like, I never would have known had I not just spent time just jacking around in the menu. But yeah,
Yep.
And there they are.
Yep, because Bungie wants you to find it and grind for every little morsel. Like, this is the Depression era of Destiny, and you gotta just, like, beg, and it's like, man, like... And that's where I came to a realization, like, they're not making the game for us. People have to come to that realization, like, this game isn't for us. This game isn't for casuals. This is for Activision's bottom line. And if you think otherwise, you're just being a fanboy, you're just being misled. Like, Bungie has shown over the first 2 years of this game, like, they're not building this game for us. Like, they're building this game to make money. Like, and if you're like, well, you're just jaded, I'm like, look at the signs. Like,
So,
Anno, listen carefully. We're active. Abort the extraction stop.
yeah.
You are the scrawniest of them all!
But here's the problem I see with Bungie. I'm seeing the same mistakes being made over and over and over again, and these mistakes aren't being, the same exact mistakes all the way through D1 are being repeated in D2. For example, Vault Space. Like, listen, how is that even a thing? I don't understand how that could possibly be a thing when it was one of the biggest major complaints in D1 was Vault Space. Like, I had to delete all of my D1 Year 1 raid armor, which I love the Year 1 I don't know if you guys had ever seen all the Destiny 1 Year 1 armor. like Crota Raid and stuff like Baltic Glacier. It was the best looking armor in the game, in my opinion. Like no armor, none of the raid armor ever looked as good as the Year 1 Destiny 1 raid armor sets that they had. They looked just fantastic. But I ended up having to delete all those in D1 because I just didn't have any vault space, and I knew I couldn't use them because they weren't nowhere near the light level, and I couldn't infuse them up any higher. So, but I ended up having to delete all that, and it's just like, you know, it's such a bummer. But vault space was an issue then, and here we are in D2, and what's the issue? Vault space.
But here's the sad reality. But here's the sad reality that you might not have thought about. If people didn't get so pissed off with the supply drops and Test Everest, they would have sold you vault space.
No, I agree. That would have been a thing. Like
Test
it would have been
Everest
like
would have sold you
mod
vault
slots
space
in Warframe. It definitely. I can see exactly what you're saying, and I agree with you 100%. Oh, would you like 100 more vault slots? Oh, it's only going to cost you, 50 silver. I can totally see that being a thing, and I would bet you.
They have the currency in the game for it.
Yes.
They were just waiting to do it, but people were just like, nah, bruh, you can't do that. And people just raised the muck with Test Everest.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
If they had got away with the supply drops in that game, they'd have sold everything. They'd have sold the last word in a supply drop.
Yeah. Yes, I agree with you. I actually didn't know, when I first started D2, I had no clue that, you can call them whatever you want to call them. I'm going to call them legendary. Excuse me, I'm going to call them legendary Ingrams. I had no clue that there were different types of legendary Ingrams. Like when I first started playing D2, I'm like, oh cool, I got a legendary Ingram. I would actually get excited about it because I'm thinking, I'm going to decrypt it. And then I'm like, well, but I can't decrypt it at the cryptar. Why can't I decrypt it here? Why do I have to go talk to Test? I don't understand. Oh,
so
well, who cares? It's a legendary.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get some, upgraded armor or a weapon that's gonna increase my light. This is gonna be awesome. Here's a ghost. What? No. I don't want the ghost. I want, weapon, or you're gonna give me a crappy shader and a ghost.
Yep.
And now all of a sudden I'm not even excited about legendary Ingrams. It's like, oh, you got a legendary Ingram. And it's another ship, which, my God, the ships, please. Dude, on 3 characters, let me tell you, the amount of ships that I have received is ridiculous. The amount of ghost shells that I have got. And they're all junk, because they're all freaking stupid. Solar Analyzer and Arc Analyzer. It's like, delete.
Right.
Oh, here's another Sparrow. Oh, looks just like the ones from Destiny 1. Delete. Here's another ship. Looks just like the one from Destiny 1.
But here's all the things people forgot, though. Like, in Destiny 1, you could run Omnigo and get the graphical mallet. You could get a shader. You could get a ghost. You could get a ship by just playing the game. But instead, they moved it to Test Everest so you can buy it from Test.
Yeah, and here's the thing. What about the legacy players? This has really bugged me since I started playing D2 a few weeks ago. The thing that really bugs me is the lack of respect for the legacy players, the ones that made D2 possible. If it wasn't for all the players like us and many others that invested our time into D1, D2 never would have been a thing. I mean, obviously D1 would not have been popular if it wasn't for the legacy players that put in their time in that game. They never would have made a D2 because it wouldn't have been popular, right? But I don't see any respect for the legacy players. Like, for example, why wouldn't they give us, and even the emblems from D1 are crappy white emblems. Like, they're not even green. They're not blue. They're damn sure not legendary, and they're certainly not exotic emblems. Why isn't there something unique for the legacy players to say, hey, thanks for playing D1 and supporting us and yada yada yada. Keep your raid ship from Oryx, for example. Like, and you can only legacy players can get that because they actually would run, Oryx. So, and you get the ship from Oryx. For example, the raid. What do you call it? I always call it Rage Against the Machine, but the machine raid. Wrath of the Machine. That's it. You get the ship from that, or the ghost from that, legacy players should be able to keep those, right? They shouldn't be white, they shouldn't be green, they shouldn't be, bare minimum, they should be legendary. But there's no, it seems like Bungie has no respect for the legacy players that did invest the time. Instead, you get some stupid white emblem that doesn't actually do anything. And it's just like, okay. But for example, I've got emblems for like, oh, you had over 5,000 Grimoire score in Destiny 1. Here's a white emblem that does nothing.
Right.
Gee,
But see,
thanks,
that doesn't make them money. Like,
no, I agree. It doesn't.
Doesn't make them money. It makes them goodwill, which they need. But like, for them, I hate to use the old phrase, but if it's not about dollars, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, yeah.
So
unfortunately,
yeah.
I definitely feel like D1. When I played D1, I definitely felt like I could have earned everything in game by playing the game. Right. That's what I felt like when I played D1. I never felt the need like I was forced to spend money or I had to spend money to get a specific item. And in D2, I just had this feeling constantly of, oh, you want that dragonfly armor? Pay up, sucker. Because you can't get it by grinding the game. I mean, nope. I certainly, I'm missing like a piece on each one of my characters, right? Like I'm missing the gauntlets on my Titan. I'm missing like the dress on my Warlock. I'm missing the, I can't remember on my Hunter, but I'm missing like one piece each. And wouldn't you know it,
Operator,
would you like to guess what those pieces are?
With Tess.
In the prismatic Ingram,
Yep.
aka loot box. You can call it whatever you want to call it. It's a loot box. Okay. It may look a little different than a loot box, but listen, if it walks like a duck and if it craps like a duck and it quacks like a duck, then it's still a loot box, and that's definitely exactly what a prismatic Ingram is. It's just a different way of doing a loot box, right?
Yep.
So the one piece I'm missing, the one and only piece I'm missing on each character, is in the prismatic Ingram.
Yep. And that's what they want you to do. They want you to say, hey, I'm missing this one piece. I'll spend 200 platinum. So then you get that one piece, and here goes the slippery slope. So he's like, hey, I got that one piece I was missing. Now if I go over to my Titan, I might get that one piece that I'm missing from my Titan. And then you don't get it, and you're like, oh, it was just a fluke. Let me spend another 200 platinum, or in that case, whatever it's called in that game, silver. Yeah. And then that's the gambling thing that comes in, that slyly slips in, and little kids don't pay attention to how much they spend.
Yeah, and I would say that the prismatic matrix, I think is what it's called, or something. But I would say, if anything, the prismatic matrix is more of a slot machine than the typical loot box, because you're hitting that button in the middle, right? Cha-ching. Yep. You know, oh, I didn't get it. Cha-ching. Hit the button again. Oh, pull the lever again. Cha-ching. Oh, I didn't get it. Oh, pull the lever again. Cha-ching. Oh, I didn't get it. So if anything, it's even more so like a slot machine than the typical, accepted, and I'm not against cosmetics. I mean, if you guys have seen my ship, you guys have seen my frames, my weapons. You guys know I don't have a problem spending money on cosmetics. I have no problem whatsoever doing that. It's just how it's implemented, right? That's really the focus. That's really the point here.
Yeah. And see, my thing is, like, I don't expect Activision to regulate themselves. It's not their jobs to regulate themselves. Their job is to make money.
Mm-hmm.
It's the community's job to say, hey, this is shady. Hey, this is affecting the way my child plays the game. Hey, this is affecting the way my sister plays the game. We need to look at this as a community and say, this method of doing things is wrong. It's like, if we had a problem with EA with Battlefront and we castrated them verbally for what they did, how are we okay with this in Call of Duty?
Right. No, I agree. I wish more developers would look at developers like CD Projekt Red, for example, right? Or look at developers like Digital Extremes with Warframe. Specifically Digital Extremes, because they've instituted microtransactions, but they do it in a way that isn't shady at all, right? And they do regulate themselves. If you guys think back to, oh God, what was it, 3 years ago in Warframe, they had a mechanic where you could actually change the appearance of your Kubro just by paying a few plat. And you could just sit there and hit it, just nonstop, as many times as you wanted platinum each time, right? And DE realized like the first day someone spent like $200 doing nothing but just hitting the button, cha-ching, 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 changing the appearance of their Kubro. And they actually regulated themselves. They actually took it out. They actually said, this is not what we want. This is not what we intended. This is not what we expected it to be. So, and they actually regulated themselves. And you know what? It didn't hurt their money. You know, they make plenty of money on their cosmetics. Don't be fooled.
Right. Yeah, I have no problem with supporting people. Like, I've spent over $100 on this game. So, like, my issue, for whoever's watching, like, my issue isn't, like, loot boxes. It's the gambling and the shadiness of it. That's my issue. Because we're adults here and we can process this and we can discuss this and we can think about the ramifications of this. But there are kids who can't see, like, okay, what the platinum equals to real world money, and or should they spend this money or not spend this money. Like, there are people on YouTube who have spent $1,000 or $2,000 just to get a gun in Call of Duty, just to say they were the first person in the world that had this weapon. At what point do we realize that's a problem? Yeah, at what point do we look at the Call of Duty pre-orders and the first thing on their pre-orders was COD points? Like, it wasn't skins in the game. It wasn't like access to multiplayer maps. It was COD points. And like, if you don't believe me, go to the Black Ops 4 page in PSN and you'll see the first thing listed on there is COD points for buying their game.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it's like at some point people need to just like look at this and be like, something's wrong here. Like, but people just like, well, it doesn't affect me, so like, it's not a problem. I'm like, it's still a problem. Like, sorry you feel that way, but it's still a problem.
New alert marked on navigation.
But once again, a lot of people had an out of sight, out of mind type of thing. Like, it don't affect me personally, so why do I care? And I'm like, here we go. I'll be right back.
Hey, Dripped, I've got a bombard over here. He's a synthesis scanner, or synthesis target. I'm trying to thin the ads here down a little bit so that we can grab this synth target. Oh, is it? No problem. I was putting some shots into him and I realized he didn't die instantly, and I'm like, alright, must be a synth target. My Zenith is pretty good at destroying most ads in one shot, so when he didn't go down, I was like, interesting. Oh crap! We got 40 seconds to get our last. I don't know how many. I don't know how many reactants you have. I'm one shy, and we've got seconds left. Crap! I'm not getting it. I'm not seeing it. Oh no 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 no! Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on! No, 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 come on, come on, come on, come on, give it to me, give it to me. Woo! The very last second, I nailed it, yeah. Oberon, Lex, Valkyr. I'm gonna have to go Valkyr. I've got 5, but since he's vaulted, it's like, let's build up some sets. She'll be worth something in a few days, you know, so a few months. Let's see. Are you still needing the just the Piranha Prime receiver, or do you already have it? Whoa. Yeah, she does.
Yeah, you want to keep your net out as long as possible.
Hey, let us know when you're done, Romo. We'll bail so that we can group up.
I'm done. I'm just resetting stuff on my build right quick.
All right, we'll bail after this then.
All right. Yeah, I'm just leveling up my status core before the change comes out. So.
Status core's good. It's been good ever since the rework. I wouldn't be surprised. I've had 3 or 4.
Yeah, I'm just starting to use it. Just
Yeah, it's good.
it up.
Operator, you have remembered well how the
So I can have a before and after thought process of how it works compared to the change that's coming. So
don't give away all of our good weapon secrets.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I can hear the ribbon disposition clicking down now. Click, 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 click. No, my ribbon disposition.
Right.
The Prisma dual cleavers are probably some of the best swords in the game. What? I actually shouldn't have said that just now.
Yeah. It's like, are you trying to get the Sobek nerfed?
I was gonna say, let's not talk about the Sobek. I liked it before the changes. I love it now. So yeah, let's not talk about the Sobek.
It's like, thanks, Drifter. Now it's going to have a twice as long reload.
Oh,
it's like,
God,
you thought the reload was bad before.
That's impossible. That would be like 12-second reload.
It's like, you thought the reload was bad before. We'll show you a bad reload.
They'll say, "Oh, this we're going to have to reduce the mag size of the Sobek. It's down to one shot, and reload takes 12 seconds."
I mean,
you know what though?
Yeah. I mean, we joke about that, but like that's how Banshee got changed. That's how Amber got changed. Cause some jabroni was like, "Hey, I'm on Hydra. Banshee is killing everything. I can't get any kills. This sucks." And they listened to that person, as I'm talking about person as a global sense, like the people that complain like that, and they got Banshee changed because of Hydra. Right.
On a side note, Banshee can still nuke a map with some builds. You know. I don't either. I only have 8. I wish Necros's Desecrate worked on. Wish Necros's Desecrate worked on Reactant, because I do not have 8.
Yeah, so
yeah.
that's why
See,
I say,
these guys are just kind of.
be careful. Like they might do it.
These guys are wandering off doing their own thing. We'll bail and pick up Roma. Yeah, so they're getting their reactant, and we're not, because, and they're not bothering to mark the reactant. So. It'd be one thing if they were splitting up and like marking the locations of the reactant, but they're not even doing that. Yeah, I did too. But yeah, thankfully there is still a really good build for Banshee that I still use her to nuke maps still. And I actually like it a little bit better than the old one. Because you don't like it better? Well, the one thing I like more about it is the fact that you can now move around. You're not stuck to the ground. And that's one thing that always bugged me about Banshee.
I think you're using the term "play loosely."
I was gonna say. Look, hey, this morning I hopped into a defense, right, with Banshee, and I went ahead and just, set it, and then I went to work. I came back, and we were on wave 3000, and she was still going.
Yeah.
Oh. I tell you though, with the Rezo Quake build on Banshee, whenever I have to level something, or whenever I'm relic farming, I depend on that build to get me through levels. Like for example, when Chroma Prime, Rubico Prime, and Grand Prime dropped, and I needed the relics. For example, I jump into IO, park my Banshee in the middle of the map, and then just sit there and hit the 4 occasionally and just wipe the map over and over, and you just blaze through level after level, wave after wave, and it really helps to rack up your amount of relics that you actually have. So yeah, and if you're leveling something, for example, just equip that one weapon that you need to level and do the same thing, and you're earning relics, you're earning resources, and you're leveling that one weapon extremely quickly doing that. Oh yeah, definitely. I'd have to look at my Rezo build on my Banshee. I think I put some Forma into her, but I'd have to look to be certain because I don't recall. I'm just using any Meso relic.
All right.
Any old junky Meso relic is all I'm using. So.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. Do you have a Phantasma ribbon? Have you guys, maybe it's just my RNG, I don't know, but have you guys noticed, maybe it's, again, maybe it's just me, but every time there's a new weapon released or a new weapon that's primed, I never get ribbons until like the ribbon disposition's like bottomed out, and but I never get them ever. Like I would like to have a Graham ribbon, which I'm not gonna lie, I've had Graham ribbons in the past, and I got rid of them, which I regret now.
I'm sending life support capsules your way.
But yeah, it seems like with none of the new weapons.
Support capsule has arrived. Activate it when your supply is low.
Yeah, they're kind of still expensive right now. We can hold up in this room if you want.
Fallen enemies
Works for me.
crucial losses. Be on the
You want to waypoint it? Right. You know what? I don't know why I'm telling you to do it. I can waypoint it myself.
Yeah, I'll watch the right door. They're coming. Yeah, they're coming out the right door. Yeah, like if we stay right here, they're farming in this right door. So.
support on the way.
You should see it on my screen with all the Zenith.
Going to need more reactant if you want to find that relic.
I wonder how many people actually, when they see me using like the Zenith, for example, if they think I'm just randomly shooting like a wall. And like, this guy's not actually doing anything, he's just shooting the wall. I wonder how many don't realize that I'm actually shooting enemies through the walls and obstructions with the Zenith.
We got big farm over here on the right side piece.
You got what?
There's a bunch of people coming on that right door right there. Yeah, I think we're good at, as long as the random don't go crazy too far away from us. We're good.
I'm one reactant short. You guys got reactant over there?
They're all over here. They're all in this hallway right here. Right where I marked that redirection.
Has been cracked open. Finish your mission to find out what's inside.
Yeah, they're all spawning over here.
Okay,
Pete,
yeah,
so,
this one. Yeah, they're really fighting through that door on the left.
Oh, I'm saying right side because I'm behind y'all, so yeah.
Sorry for stealing your kills, JoJo. If you watch Romo's stream, you should be, JoJo. I'm apologizing for stealing your kills, shooting these guys through the walls next to you.
Right.
Because I am just shooting these guys before they even get down the stairs, because I'm shooting through all the walls, all the stairs.
Yeah, I'm just happy he stayed with us. So.
Yeah, I apologize, JoJo. I'm shooting them up on the floor above. Apparently that one grenadier just ran the other direction. He's like, screw this, they're dying, and there's nobody here, it's a ghost. Oh, that nullifier just turned off my desecrate. I do not like right now.
Well, if you come back, I can kill the thing so we get energy.
Another life support capsule.
Yeah, I'm coming back right now. I just wanted to see if there's anything up here. I don't see anything.
Alright, I'm gonna drop a healer on the corner.
Alright, I just turned on desecrate again, so we should be getting life support pods. Which we're fine on the life support, but your ancient just took off.
Yeah, he does that.
Your ancient's like, yep, I'm out.
Yeah, he wants to just
It's my
slap
smoke
stuff.
break. He's in a union, man. He's not sticking around for this.
Stuff, so.
Is the Fang? The Fang's not bolted. It's the Vinca, right?
Oh, Grand Prime. I didn't see the ground. I'm glad I caught that last. Well, I think the random put one in.
I threw in an S8, which has the Grand Blade. I'm throwing in another because I've got a few of them, so.
Yeah, I just threw one in. Yep, my healer over there still slapping somebody.
Yeah. He's Union, man. He doesn't have to listen to you.
Yeah, I lose more healers that way by just recalling them in because they just keep going out there getting themselves killed.
At least I'm shooting through your ancient. See, that's what you get. That's what you get, healer.
Get ready for a capsule.
And you're dead. I hope you're happy.
Okay, I put another one out. I think he's coming to Drifter now. I think he wants to hug Drifter for some weird reason.
It's just time for his break, man.
Another life support capsule is now available. Keep fighting. Look for more reactant.
Okay.
I have 4 so far. But I'm seeing a couple more laying over here.
Life support on
Yeah, this is what I said in my WDIF Orkin Cell vid. It seems like if you squat up, that's when you get the best Orkin Cell drops. But if you try to jump in solo for Orkin Cells, you're going to get about 1 to 3 no matter what you do, or how long you stay, it seems. Unless you speed run the bosses on extra. That's where the Orkin Cells you can rack up a lot. Just speed running that over and over again.
Delivered another life support capsule.
Oh, that's a Clem. I'm over here trying to shoot your Clem. Clem. When I was trying to shoot him, it didn't at that second.
Yeah, when you scoped in,
So,
you don't see it. Then when you come out of scope, you see it. It's a weird thing in this game.
Why did my Desecrate turn off again? I didn't hit a nullifier. Gosh, it's really, Necros is really acting weird. You guys, I don't know if you guys have used Necros lately, but the last few times I've used him, his Desecrate just randomly turns off, and I haven't taken any damage. And I turned it off after, or turned it back on when I ran back into that nullifier. But it just turned off on its own.
Tenno, prepare for life support.
What kind of range do you have? Oh no, you've got a couple of nets set up, all right. It looks like you've got a net over here and a net over there by the middle door. That's what it looks like. Oh, okay, this net just disappeared. No. You need a duration.
Support has arrived. That's it. You opened the relic. Finish your mission and we'll take.
Try not to sacrifice too much power, though.
Yeah, it's like Octavia. You don't want to sacrifice too much power, but you don't want to sacrifice too much duration too. You gotta find a balance. Octavia's
Look at that
the same
pile
way.
of loot. And it's all trash. That's the sad part. I'm sitting here in this hallway looking at this pile of loot like, wow, that's a lot of loot. But then I came to the realization, yeah, it's all Garbo.
Yeah, you can break it down at least in this game.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Talk about garbage.
I don't know, guys. Help me choose.
Once again, see, you said something like, "Oh, you gonna call this trash? We're gonna show you some trash in a second." It's like, thanks, Steve.
Actually, I'm not gonna lie. I need some Forma. I'm not gonna lie. So, yeah, Forma sucks, but I should say I need Forma blueprints because I have Forma building 24/7.
Yeah, I'm starting to do that now.
I sign in every day. I collect my built Forma, start another one, and that's an everyday process, nonstop. Just so that I can have a rack and a half of just Forma whenever I need it. For example, Garuda with extra cheese is coming out.
Yep.
And her new crossbow is coming out. So I may need Forma for the crossbow. You notice I didn't say Garuda. At this moment, she's looking very cheesy.
We got a leech around here somewhere. I think you might have a leech in the net. Excuse me.
Let's see.
Because my energy is like disappearing.
Mine's still staying steady, but I don't use energy for desecrate. But
yeah. Yeah, it was just like briefly my energy just went down. I'm like, I'm not even doing anything with Harrow.
Yeah, well, he generates enough health orbs that... I'm at 7 reactants. Anybody else have more?
I'm at 7.
Yeah, I'm
there's
just
two in this.
keep my
There's
eye
two
on
in
it.
this hallway where I'm at. There's two in
I
this
just
hallway.
got one. Okay, there's one in here in this room. I waypointed it by this desk. There should be one. Yeah, I just got it. Let's see. You said there's one in this hallway that would... That should
Yeah,
give me
they're just
10.
spawning in this hallway. So.
Oh yeah, there was 3 in here. That was way more than I needed. So yeah.
That's it. You opened the relic. Finish your mission and we'll take a look.
What's that? I tell you right now, the best way to use Cora's net I found is use it on a balcony or a floor, you know, an open floor level above, because then her net actually hangs down below the floor you're actually standing on, and it still picks up enemies underneath you. So that's about the best way I've seen to use Cora's net, is to find that room that has like a balcony or an open upper floor, and then cast your net there, and it hangs down underneath the floor, and that way you're still picking up enemies, and then you can actually whiplash them through the floors, and it still does damage still then underneath the floor. So it's about the best way I found to use Cora.
Yeah, her net goes through terrain. It don't even make sense why, but it just goes through everything. It clips through all kinds of stuff.
Shh, Romo. There's an ancient. We don't want DE to hear that and be like, well, we're going to have to nerf Cora's net. We can't have it going through the floor. Oh, wow, that's a bunch. There's...
All right.
Nicholas, run.
There you go. You're good.
All I saw was nothing but... He's probably like, I'm out.
Unfortunately for him, he can't be out.
Oh, true. There's 3 of us and 1 of him. The poor bastard. 7. Ooh, Sybaris. But you know what, Necros. I've got 7, but I'll take an 8th.
Necro sells still, so.
And I predict his value is going to go up pretty good here in a few months' time, because he is the farming frame.
Yep,
so,
everybody needs farming frame. Yeah, I need that platinum too, so it's a win-win for me. So.
Ooh, N4 Drifter. Yeah, I'll take it.
Don't forget the reactant. More to open that relic.
You've been popping the vaulted? Yeah, that's kind of the hang up for me is some of my vaulted stuff I want to... That's why this is also working for reactants as well.
Ooh, okay. That rift's going right behind me.
Well, the good news is we'll be getting reactants, so...
Yeah. I'm just trying to level up my weapons, so... Oh, okay. No fire.
Romo, I'm not shooting the wall, I'm actually shooting enemies. I know it looks like I'm shooting the wall, but I'm not. I'm actually...
I've seen Spectres do work, so I'm not surprised.
True, yeah. Spectre's like, I'm gonna shoot the hell out of this box. And you're like, what are you shooting at, this box?
Yep.
And I remember I can't even remember the guy's name now, but I remember we tried to do the Wrath of the Machine raid in D1, and we needed like 2 more people, and I saw a couple of my people, really, really good guys, but I didn't game with them very often, and I saw that they were on, and it was late. We were trying to finish the raid, we were at the last stage, and the 2 guys that we had with us had to bail, so I invited these guys, and the one guy was just absolutely hammered drunk. And it was hilarious because you would just come around a corner and he would just be standing like in a corner like this and just shooting like at a spot on the floor.
Let's go.
And I'd be like, dude, what are you doing? I thought I saw it move. I'm like, you were useless on this raid right now, man. You were absolutely useless, I'm not afraid to tell you.
Yeah.
You know, you have to throw the bombs at the, what's his name? Anyway, he was throwing them in the opposite direction. I'm like, what are you doing? Well, I thought he was over there. No, he's behind you. What are you doing? You didn't... Yeah, it just got to a point where I was like, alright, dude, you gotta go.
I was, yep, I know that feeling.
Yeah, I know. Yes, I was about to say 3 days later. Yeah. Well, do you remember how glitchy Oryx was? You remember that? Yeah. And you would detonate all the bombs, but it would, like, for some reason, it wouldn't count. When you detonated all the bombs, it acted like you didn't. And then you look at the result screen afterward, and it's like, everybody detonated their bombs, and why did it glitch out?
Kingsfall had that problem, too. With Oryx.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, yeah.
It was like, hey, we did. Oh wait, the game didn't know we did it. There goes a half hour.
Yeah. Exactly. And then you have to start all over again and hope that it didn't bug out the next time.
It was like, great. We just wasted a half hour.
Well, Helios is going to vault next, so I might as well get my sets now.
Yeah, that's why I hated raids. It was just like, man, we just wasted a half hour because the game didn't want us to do it. And it's like, thanks, game.
I just threw in a Tigris with a Banshee as well.
The reactant is working on your relic. Find more.
What are you trying to do, Judge? Once you get him in the net, use your first on the net. Oh yeah, throw on maul and bite. Oh yeah.
But now he goes ham.
By the way, thank you for this late over there. This thing crits like a beast.
There's a bunch of reacting in that room over there if you need some.
Yeah, this Lato Vandal's actually really good.
Yeah, they said
in
it
case
was.
You guys,
I just wasn't paying
really
no 300 platinum for it.
Yeah, well, thankfully it has gone down in price, but it's better just to grind Elite Onslaught than it is anything. No, they're about 200-ish in that range.
Yeah,
now.
Some guy was like, I want 300 platinum for the Brad Vandal. I'm like, you realize it's the Brad Prime with a different color scheme. And he had the nerve to tell me, like, he's like, it's not about the color scheme, it's about the exclusiveness of it. I'm like, are we going to a strip club or something? Like, what are you talking about? Exclusive.
Romo, shut up and put the plat in the Bratton Vandal's G-string, okay?
Right. I was like, y'all tripping. Exclusiveness.
Exclusivity?
Yeah. I'm like, y'all crazy. Like, I wouldn't have a problem if, like, it was better. Like, it was clearly better than the Bratton Prime. But, like, since it's not, I'm like,
I agree.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, the Bratton. Yeah.
I mean, I still use the Bratton to this day, but like, I'm not spending 300 platinum.
The Lato Randall was very good. Whoa, okay. Should have brought my Zenistar. I wasn't even thinking. You got your Zenny though, don't you, Emma?
No, I took all the weapons off so I could level this weapon up.
Oh yeah, the static cores. Yeah. I don't blame you. Jojo, you're taking multiple shots to kill those guys, and I can just one-shot them with the Lato Vandal build I've got going, like that. What MR is Jojo? I'm not casting shade at you.
He's 11.
He's MR. He's 11, so he's still probably trying to master the builds and get used to the builds. Yeah. That was a 15,000 red crit right there on this Lato Vandal.
Are they stuck? Oh, okay. They were stuck.
Oh, you're dying?
It shows you got overshield, so I don't know how.
As I say, there's Cora, no.
bounties. As long as
Oh, guys! The Tenno operative just found 2,500 credits. Everybody's quiet, like, yeah. You know what that means?
We joke.
The Tenno operative, 2,500 credits? That's like the equivalent of saying, hey, I have a pocket full of dirt. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I'm sitting on about 25 million credits, so 2,500.
Yeah, I just have enough just to level up Prime mods. Because that's all I ever use them for anyway, is level up Prime mods.
Yeah.
Nothing else to spend credits
Endo
on.
mainly. Well, see, I solo the medium risk index whenever I have. Jojo, I'm shooting you in the back of the head, Jojo. Jojo. I was standing here. Jojo. Thank you. Jojo. I'm shooting. Jojo.
He can't hear
Jojo.
You.
I know, but I feel like he can understand me because of this energy or something. I don't know. But he just kept standing in front of me, and I was standing in one spot shooting enemies, and he just kept standing directly in front of me. Like, if you want the kills that bad, you can have them. I'll go stand in the corner and just desecrate the living crap out of stuff. I have no problems with that. But Jojo.
Right.
It's like, see, this is what I'm talking about. It's like he knows, look, he's not standing to my right. He's not standing to my left. He's standing directly point blank freaking. I know this is aggravating Peace right now. I'm not going to stand to his right. I'm not going to stand to his left. I'm going to point blank in front of him.
Right. I hate when people do that. What I hate even more is when you're shooting at somebody, whether it's in this game or in Crucible and in Destiny, and your teammate shoots you in the back of the head. It's like, teammate, do you realize you're shooting me in the back of the head, trying to shoot the guy I'm shooting at? How about you move to the left or the right instead of shooting me in the back of the head?
Hold on. Oh, okay, he's moving. I was gonna stand directly in front of him. I don't know. He's taking 2 or 3 shots to kill an enemy, and I'm just doing it in like one single tap. It's all good. He's MR11. I remember those days. I remember playing Warframe when I first started out, and I remember seeing enemies, right, that were like level 25. And I literally said out loud, I'll never get to the point where those guys are easy. I remember actually saying that out loud a long time ago. So, you know, it's all perspective. It's about learning as you go, and that increases your build qualities. I remember some builds I had were just horrendous. Some of my builds are just like, why would I do that? Why did I do that? Like, that's so horrible.
Yeah, I still laugh to this day when you hear people in recruitment chat. They're like, must be able to go to wave 20 on Hydron. And I'm like, wait, what? That's a thing still? People can't go to wave 20 on Hydron?
That used to be the norm. Not, you know. Wow.
Yeah, like you think I'm joking? Just watch the recruitment chat. You'll see people like, I need help on Hydron. I'm like,
I actually thought about, for my YouTube channel, I actually thought about doing a video and calling it "Please Stay" and commenting on the current community, jumping in for 5 minutes, 5 waves, and jumping out again. Like, why? It's such a waste of time. You spend, I don't know about you guys, but when I know I'm jumping into a mission, I have to choose my loadout, tweak my loadout, select the mission, wait for the matchmaking, then the load screen, then I get into the mission, and if you count switching to your operator and doing your void dash and getting your energy build up, if you're going to put out turrets or healers or whatever, I spend more time in all of that. I spend more time doing all of that than 5 minutes or 5 waves is even worth, right?
yeah.
Like, it's such a waste of time. It is such a waste of time. And I get, like, sometimes life gets in the way. I understand that, dude. I throw no shade at somebody. I've had to jump out of missions earlier than I wanted as well, you know. Life happens. Everything in life is more important than gaming. You know, that's just the reality. But I'm talking about those players that habitually jump in 5 minutes, 5 waves, jump out, right? Like,
Yeah, I'm just like, what are we doing? Like, I'm like I get everybody's not super hardcore or aggro like me who can solo content in his first year of playing the game. But like, when you're asking for like recruitment for Hydron or for Lean, I'm like, what are we doing with our lives? But then I have to remember, like you said, perspective. Your perspective is different than somebody else's perspective because they're not where you're at. Just like I was talking about, like, to Drifter earlier about the N-word. Like, at his brother's perspective, he thinks that's cool to use the N-word all the time. But, like, he'll get to a point in his life where he'll realize, like, it's actually not cool. And his perspective will change, and he will grow from that.
Right. Yeah, that's never.
You are going to need more. You want to open that relic.
But see, you say that, but like I've seen stuff where people like they've had a kid or something happened to a family member that they really cared about, like a sister, and it changed them, and they reevaluate the way they say things. Like there are people who will be like, they make rape jokes or they use the N-word. Then something affects them and they're like, they don't make those jokes anymore. So like, you just don't know like how life can affect people.
Well, plus, and then you've got the differences in people. Like I have a bunch of Latino friends, and if I call them Latino, I have actually a couple friends that actually get pissed about that. Like, I'm not Latino, I'm Mexican. I'm like, I thought it was the same thing. No, I'm Mexican. Don't call me Latino. I'm Mexican. I'm like, okay, John, calm down. Like, what's the problem? I don't see, you know, I always, you know, when I was younger, I always thought like the term Mexican was like derogatory, right? I thought the appropriate term was Latino, right? Like but no. Just like I have, in fact, Connie, the girl that I dated for a while, she hated to be called African American. She hated it. She's like, I'm black. I ain't never even been to Africa. How the hell are you gonna call me African American? I'm like, damn, Connie, yeah, I'll call you black. Jeez, I thought African American was the appropriate term. So perspective is really applicable when you're talking about different people. Like everybody's different. Everybody, you know, likes something is, you know, different. You know, this goes back to the case of I had three buddies that were named to Charles, right? One buddy only wanted to be called Chuck. The other one only wanted to be called Charlie. The other one only wanted to be called Charles. Right? Yeah. So everybody's different. They prefer something or look at things differently. So perspective is definitely a big factor.
The relic has been cracked open. Finish yours to find out what's inside.
For the Lotus.
Yes, it is. Yeah, so I really don't get mad at people who still use the N-word or make rape jokes. I just feel sorry for them. But they just don't, they're just too ignorant to know any better.
Well, when you're younger, let's just, I mean, I can look back at my younger years and realize how truly stupid I was, right? Like, God, I thought I was so smart and I was so stupid when you look back. And I think that's kind of one of those things that people, when they're younger, they think, oh, it's something's hip or something's cool, it's right to say something. And it's not until they mature and get older before they realize, oh, that was, you know, not a good thing. That reminds me of that movie. Do you guys ever see that? It has Will Ferrell and what's his name? God, I always forget his name. That movie, Get Hard. And you guys, that was freaking hilarious. So like, he's like, all right, you got to say the N-word, and Will Ferrell's like, but I don't want to say the N-word. He's like, but you got to. You're going into motorcycle clubs, and they're racist, so you got to say the N-word. He's like, but I don't want to. And he's like, okay. He's like, what sound does a tiger make? And he's like, grr. And he's like, and what's that part on your leg? He's like, knee? He's like, now put it all together. And then Will Ferrell says it, and he slaps the shit out of him. He's like, I'm sorry, that just happened. It was a reaction. I'm sorry, it happened. It's my best.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's a funny movie. This just moved past it. It happened, and it was fast too. Smack.
Yep.
Will Ferrell's holding his face like, but you told me to say it. What'd you say? You did? How do you run out of primary?
Here you go.
Don't forget the reactant.
Here you go, Drifter.
Open that relic.
There you go. Yeah, you should be good now. I'll drop some ammo pads for you.
Alright, JoJo's gone after this relic.
Or is he? Or is he?
That's a good point. I keep forgetting it's 3 against 1. Or is he? We are holding you hostage.
Right.
You ain't going anywhere.
See, that's the thing, like, Frontier, like, I'm like, if I really was a douchebag like people said I was, y'all don't understand how ruthless I could be with people. Like, I would type in a message, be like, yo, we're not leaving for 4 hours later. They'll say goodbye to all your relics if you want to leave. Like, if I was a douchebag, I could do that. Like, yeah, we're going to be here for 8 hours. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I give the guy credit. He's been here for 37 minutes, so, you know, if he wants to leave, that's cool. I mean, you know, like if he was in at like 5 minutes, it's like,
yeah.
You know, 5-10 minutes. Sorry, son. You're staying. You're staying. It's 3 against 1. You ain't going nowhere. I'm sorry, but yeah, he's been in here for 37 minutes, so I'll give him his props. I'll give him his credit here.
Yeah, he's actually a good.
I know that sounds bad to say. I know that sounds bad to say. The community has lost its damn mind when it comes to actually staying in the mission. Like, there are no negatives to staying in a mission longer. None whatsoever. There's nothing but benefits to staying in a mission longer. And so, I'm just like...
Right.
The community lost its damn mind. This 5-minute 5-way BS. It's like, dude, I've got more time in getting ready for the mission than I'm actually spending in the mission. Like, no. No. No.
You opened the relic.
Exactly, yeah.
Finish your mission and we'll take it.
Right.
When I was grinding the void relics on mod, I was running about, give or take, about an hour solo by myself because I got tired of queuing up and people wanting to leave in 5 minutes, 20 minutes. I'm like, dude, I'm here for the Axios 3 relic, okay? Like, I'm not going to get that in 5 or 10 minutes, so I'm not going anywhere. And then, of course, it's 2 against 1 or 3 against 1. It's like, that's why you just end up soloing it. It's like, dude, it's easier just to solo it than it is to try and get somebody to actually want to stay for a decent amount of time.
Yeah, what I would tell people is like, even if you want to go solo or you're afraid or whatever, what I would do is just be like, hey, if y'all gonna be here an extra half hour, tell the people that like, hey, I want to leave, but if y'all gonna stay in the next hour, just leave your ps4 on and go watch a TV show. That's what I've done. When dudes were like so aggro, like, yeah, we're gonna be here X hour, I'm like, cool, like, I'll just go watch a TV show on the other TV. And
well, if you're inactive for a certain amount of time, you won't get the rewards. DE did add that, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing, but yeah, if you're inactive for X amount of time, it will refuse to give you the rewards.
Right. But see, if you die at a certain point and just never come back, then when people are ready to leave, you can just get back up. Or like I would used to do, is just like just wait at the extraction and force the enemies to spawn over there. Because they'll aggro at the extraction for some weird reason. Then people will get the message like, hey, there's no more enemies spawning. Oh, they're all at the extraction. We might want to leave. So there's ways you can force your way out. But like, yeah, just being like 5 minutes and I'm done, like, I'm like, okay, you need more stamina, bro. Ooh, another Grand Prime blade. So we gonna head out now?
Yeah, we'll bail out since he wants out. Like I said, I'll give the guy props. He ran 40 minutes. Hey, I can't fault the guy.
Yeah.
You did good, JoJo. Other than putting the back of your head against the barrel of my gun, that's the only downside. I will say my Warframe game time does mess up with my Destiny time. I go to slide and I throw a grenade.
Yeah, everybody has that problem going back to Destiny.
I'm like, oh no, I just threw this grenade right on top of me. This is not going to be good. Guardian down.
Right. My biggest problem is the frame rate going into that game. It's so bad in that game. I'm like, coming from this game and going into that game, you could notice the frame rate is lower.
It's an Amber.
Yeah.
Amber! Amber Star! Does that not sound like the name of a porno actress?
Probably was. Rest in peace.
Amber Star.
Another job well executed.
Ride my hog.
I don't doubt that. I don't know. It's really weird. It's really weird. Yeah, it's...
Tenno, there's a time-limited mission available. Check navigation.
Yeah, it's really weird. Not for the new augment she got, but for that, yeah, it's kind of weird. Yep. Yeah, more people need augment like Mesa has, but they don't.
operator, or just wonders, what are you thinking about?
All right.
All right.
Okay, doke.
Have a good one.
Jake.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey, I appreciate the contribution to the entertainment. So. Yeah.
Not usually. I normally just make content and publish vids is normally all I do. I don't normally do any streaming.
It's all content, sir.
Well, okay, true. I just meant
It's all
I
content.
just meant specific to YouTube, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Later.